Hey guys, what's going on? So I was talking today about how when somebody criticizes someone on your team, or basically, let me back up for a minute. We're talking about ideology, right? And how when people have ideologies, you become a part of a team. Whether you're pro-vaccine or anti-vaccine, or Democrat or Republican, or left or right, or even race, like black or white, right? There's this whole kind of notion that you have to stick together no matter what. You have to stick by each other and not be critical of each other. Well, I don't agree with that. I think that there is room for criticism when somebody on your team is not, you think that they're doing something wrong, you know? And the reason for this, I mean, look at how we ended up with Obama, right? A lot of people just voted for him just because he was black. He's on my team. He's black. You know, he's a black man. He's a man. He's on my team. He's a woman. He's on my team. He's a conservative. You know, he's on my team. He's a liberal. He's on my team, right? So it doesn't really allow us room to grow and be critical if we are automatically going to just side with somebody just because they are on, you know, our same political party or on our same team, you know. And I've noticed how, you know, April and I have talked about this a lot, how the truth movement, right, draws in a lot of narcissistic people as well as empathetic people, right? So it draws in narcissists and empaths. So the narcissists that are drawn in, when people start to see through them and see that they are manipulating people or they've done something wrong and they get caught on it, their ultimate default is to say that they're being attacked. You know, they might even cry behind the scenes and be like, why are people attacking me? I'm so good. I just want to do good and they're attacking me. You know, and then the empaths would be like, oh man, that sucks, man. Oh, I totally know how I feel. And they'll be so overwhelmed with emotion because the empaths are good people that they won't really think critically or look deeply into the narcissist that's being criticized. And it makes me really upset when people fall for that, you know. And I think it's actually a danger. There are people that's like, oh, you know, if there's a movement, there shouldn't be infighting. You know, I think you can call attention to someone without causing infighting. Now, the narcissist is going to want to make it infighting. It's going to want to, he or she is going to dramatize it and make it bigger than it is, because A, if they're getting called on, you know, being a liar or being an opportunist or being a thief or whatever they're getting called on, they're going to turn it around and make the other person, the people that are attacking them, look like they're jealous of them or they can't handle their success or something like that. And, or, you know, they're never going to admit responsibility at all. They're never going to be humble. They're never going to be, you know, be like, oh, I messed up, I made a mistake. I can understand why people are mad at me. I've been wrong, I've made mistakes, you know. I know, you know, and it's really hard. It's not an easy thing to do, to admit when you have been wronged, or when you have done something wrong. It's hard. But in the end, when you are wrong about something, you know, people do respect you for it. You try and make amends, people do respect you for that. So I think that, like, there are people that, you know, try and use this tactic to get people to feel sorry for them, you know. And it's very frustrating when you can see through that. It's very frustrating when you see other people that buy into it. But but to me, it's just even more frustrating when people have the mentality, because you're on the same team and you have the same ideology, that there's no room for criticism of members of the same team and you all have to stick together. And I think that's just completely bogus, because you know, that alone can cause harm without being critical of somebody. Because you have somebody that, this is called COINTELPRO, and what do you call that, infiltration, and, you know, co-opting movements and stuff. Is the fact, you know, there could be people that they're sitting there to cause infighting, but you just have to be aware and critical of people, because there are people that also slip in there and, you know, they pretend to be nice and they pretend to be your friend and they pretend that they have a good cause, but meanwhile they're either in it for themselves or they're doing damage behind the scenes. They're getting info on people, they're collecting stuff on people. So I just wanted to put that out there because I think that, you know, it's very imperative that people do see something. I mean, people called me an agent, you know, I've been called that, I've been called an agent, I've been called, I mean, I don't care. Like, I, you know, became awake because I, you know, through the medical industry and the corruption and that. So do you think I'm caring about political people calling me agents and, you know, stuff like that? I've gotten death threats and rape threats. April has a family and they've threatened her, you know. Now this is, you know, cyber stuff, but still, like, I mean, I've been called worse stuff. So, I mean, I just have to deal with it. I know that it comes with the territory. I don't use it as a crutch or as a way to get sympathy from people because I'm over it. Like, you know, bullied in school, bullied now, whatever. It's prepared me for now. I'm just like, whatever, you know. I'm not like poor me. Oh, it's so sad. I'm so hurt, you know. So beware people like that because they're people that will use your empathies against you, and they know that you're a good person, and they know that they can say, you know, say certain things to push your emotional buttons, and, you know, that's how they get their way. But I think eventually, you know, narcissists seem to fall, and it's really great when they do. They might rise for a while, but they're gonna fall, and when they fall hard, you know, the people that do that. So just be aware of, you know, not allowing yourself to be a monolith with anything, because, you know, I think there's also this fear that women, you know, women don't want to criticize other women because they're going to be called jealous, even though that's not the case. A lot of times that's not the case. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. You know, I think that, you know, one thing of being able to have freedom of speech is being able to have the freedom of thought and the freedom to be critical of each other. And, you know, there are people that are going to say that, oh, you're jealous. And if you're a man, calling out on a man, people are like, oh, you're just jealous of him. Or if you're like, you know, you're jealous of whatever they think you're jealous of, right? So I think there's also that fear that people don't want to come out and be critical because they're going to be afraid of being called jealous. So what, you're jealous? Are you really jealous? Does it really matter? You know? No, if you're not that. And if you are, then you need to do some inner work inside and figure out why you're jealous of this person, right? Maybe you study this person more and you learn from the person instead of being jealous of them, because it's really an unhealthy trait. It's a healthy thing to be jealous of somebody. It eats you alive. You know, it's not good. It's one of the seven deadly sins, envy, right? So, you know, like the 7 deadly sins in envy, you know, the 7 deadly sins, whether you're a religious person or not, you know, you have these sins, and these, you know, you become what's the word I'm looking for? You become overcome by one of those sins. It like destroys your life. So it's not a good thing to be jealous, but at the same time, don't let people guilt trip you into thinking that you're jealous when you are just being critical of somebody. Because a lot of times I see people doing that stuff, and they're just being critical of someone, which is their right, especially if they think someone is doing something wrong. So anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest, whatever. Oh, I just wanted to say, the last interview I did with Mikhail did not get flagged by YouTube. I was having sound issues, so I'm gonna either fix the interview this week or redo it, my nose issue, with him. So it's coming back. We had a great time. I got some more interviews coming up with some more people for the Black Women series, and I'm excited. So anyway, all right, guys, peace and love. Talk to you later. Bye. Mwah.